This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
I like turtles.
Plus, the Hollywood strikes inspire Marvel VFX workers to unionize. Barbie crosses a huge box office milestone. New Fantastic Four casting rumors and more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, August 7th, 2023.
Hey, this is for the Jock and Nerd podcast. This is Simon Rex, a.k.a. Dirt Nasty, baby. You know, I like to listen to the Jock and Nerd podcast when I'm driving to work. Wait a minute, I don't have a job. So I like to listen to it when I'm driving to your mama's house. Ha ha. You tired of boring podcast shows? These guys at Jock and the Nerd are the funniest, most entertaining nerds on earth. So check it out, baby dick.
Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up.
Jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, what is up, listener? How you doing? Thanks for pressing play, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
And joining us, he loves pizza. He loves nunchucks. He is most definitely a product of some kind of mutation. It's Old Man Mutant Ninja Felty Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
What's up, Cowabunga?
Cowabunga, dude.
Cowabunga.
TP
I
from
haven't heard someone say bunghole in a long time.
Bunghole.
Oh, pee-pee for my bunghole.
TP?
Yeah, pee-pee for my bunghole.
All about Beavis and Butthead in the 90s, the heyday of MTV, as we all know.
Yeah, look up Cornolio. It's great.
I actually went out this past weekend and wore an MTV shirt.
You did? Where did you wear this MTV shirt, Anthony?
I went to a Diplo show at the Salt Shed, this new venue in Chicago.
Oh.
You remember the Morton Salt Shed on the highway?
Yeah, that big...
So it's a concert
yeah,
venue.
you would drive down. There was a big warehouse. It would say Morton. It had the Salt Girl on it. It's now a concert venue. Whoa. That's a big warehouse.
Cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Did you get any reactions to your MTV shirt?
Where people are like, what is that, you old man?
I don't think anyone cared that I wore.
Are you a boomer?
I don't think anyone knew or cared.
Look at that guy. He's ironically wearing an MTV shirt.
I don't think it was ironic.
No?
I lived it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he watched Road Rules.
I watched Road Rules and Real World and TRL.
Listen, Yo MTV Raps. I watched up until that show got taken off the air, and then I was like,
120 minutes.
Oh, 120 minutes. Matt Pinfield, was it? Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, MTV. Remember when it was about music? It's still around.
See, I caught MTV when it was transitioning from music to other stuff.
It became like reality TV with Jersey Shore and whatever.
Yep, all that shit.
Guidos.
Still around somehow.
Laguna Beach, then it became Laguna Beach and the OC, all that shit.
So I wonder who their target audience is right now.
Does it exist? I don't think it exists.
It's still around. Yeah, MTV is still around. And maybe I don't know what's on there. It's still a channel. I know
they still
somewhere.
do the challenge stuff. I don't know what else is on there.
Yeah,
now.
I saw some of that coming back, like All-Star, the challenge.
Can you look up what their
VMAs?
programming is on the TV Guide?
You can, but I'm not going to because I don't care anymore. Anyways, let's let us know if you still watch MTV. But for now, let's get to the news, you bastards.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
Whoa, Hollywood strike update time. Well, the WGA, the writers, have now been on strike for 97 days. Last week, word came that the AMPTP had agreed to meet with WGA leadership this past Friday. Got a lot of people excited, right? This could mean something. On the Friday, thousands of picketers from SAG and WGA, I have a photo in the show notes here, out on the streets in front of Universal. This is a wild photo. There's like lots of people in this photo. This is day 95 of this fucking strike. And they picked Universal for a reason. I don't know if you guys heard of the Treegate thing that they were doing. Anybody hear about this?
No, I don't hear about anything. This show is how I get these updates, so please explain.
Okay, Universal was putting scaffolding and like construction barriers in front of their studios on the sidewalk, but there was no construction, and they apparently cut down a bunch of trees that were providing shade to the picketers. They cut them down, being all petty. LA County has since fined Universal a whopping $250. That's it. They got fined $250 because I believe the trees were like on the street. It wasn't on private property, whatever. But on Friday, they cleared the streets. They showed out in force. And the AMPTP WJ meeting did go on. What happened? Well, headline comes out. WGA and AMPTP can't agree to resume negotiations. Strike to go on indefinitely. So it says here they failed to reach an agreement to resume contract negotiations. They can't even agree to start talking, apparently, again. So nothing happened, unfortunately. And a lot of people saying no end in sight to this almost 100-day strike. So we'll see what happens with that.
Not much. Not much. Like anything really happened.
Yeah, nothing happened there, which is surprising. Meanwhile, on the actor side, SAG, they have been on strike 25 days. We talked about last week The Rock donating 7 figures to the SAG fund. I'm going to read you a list of celebrities right now. Okay. Leonardo DiCaprio, Nicole Kidman, Julia Roberts, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Meryl Streep, Oprah Winfrey, George and Amal Clooney, Luciana and Matt Damon, Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck, Hugh Jackman, Deborah Lee Furness, and Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively all followed up and donated about $1 million to that same fund. They raised like $15 million in the past week, apparently.
Wow.
So good for them. Look at The Rock leading the way.
That's what needs to be done. They needed to keep doing this.
So that can help them now wait out the studios.
So what about the rich ass writers that need to hook up the writers?
Who is the highest paid writer though? Who would that even
Shane
be?
Black?
Like,
I don't know.
David Goyer.
Goyer, is he like top?
I don't know if the writers are as rich.
Yeah. I can't even think about who would
They
be.
probably get like money though.
Well, apparently not enough if they're on strike.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, like Chris McQuarrie is a writer, and like there's writer directors.
So supposedly David Goyer net worth is $9 million.
It is Goyer. Wow.
So I mean, it's not like super duper rich.
That's not.
He's rich, but he probably can't donate $1 million.
He probably can maybe a couple grand.
Right.
I mean, that's not. It's not like a Kidman or a DiCaprio.
Like, I could see him. I could see someone with that kind of wealth easily just like wiping their ass with 30 grand.
Sure. Every little bit helps, right? Send them $100. It's going to help. Here's the biggest thing that happened posted just today, this evening, apparently, reporting by Vulture, a group of 50 Marvel visual effects employees are now filing a petition to unionize. They want to join IATSE.
Oh, shit.
They want the protections that IATSE has its crew members. IATSE, of course, is like costume designer. They're all the crew people, like costume designers, makeup artists, grips, like are the John Bellattis of the world.
I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, because after all the fucking shit they've been getting in, they don't get the same protections. They're worked long hours and could be fired just like that. So I'm surprised. Like visual effects, I think it said have been around 50 years and they've never had any kind of union.
You need to.
Yes. Now they see what is going on, these labor movements all over the world. I think it's good because it's hurting the product the way these guys are being treated and people are quitting and burning out.
Yeah, and you can tell the quality is just not as good.
Yeah, which is when we get to the movie we review, it's interesting. Those guys wanted to make sure that the animators.
I feel like the studios are just waiting for AI to get good enough where they don't need them anymore.
Well, that's part of the. I mean, that's a lot of the reason why these strikes are happening, right? Is AI, what that means, how that affects their pay. So this has been. I mean, we've talked about it. I hate. It's not fun talking about this because there's just nothing new that's coming up. But
no good news yet.
This has been needed.
But yeah, it is interesting to see.
Hopefully they can take the long stand.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I would expect this thing to go on another couple of months, maybe into the end of the year at least. I don't know.
Is that your projection, Mr. Imran?
I'm going to say
fucking insider over here.
I'm going to say November of next year. No, I don't know. But the way they can't even agree to talk about things. So
how's the quarters work again? What's the next quarter that's going to be up?
We just had a second quarter?
And the quarter just happened, didn't it?
Yeah. Meanwhile, so Zaslav, the HBO Discovery CEO, he said that they have saved $100 million so far during the strike. He's bragging about that.
I did hear that. I don't know. He didn't say that. It was the CFO that said that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's a spin.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I don't think it was him that specifically said it was someone. One of the higher ups there was saying that they.
CFO Gunnar Wiedenfels essentially bragged they've saved somewhere. Meanwhile, though, the numbers come out, and Max, after the merger with Discovery, lost 1.8 million subscribers in the past.
Max is about to start adding live sports.
Really?
So I just read that they're banking on.
What are they getting?
I think baseball, a bunch of different stuff. They're going to put it underneath their Bleacher Report brand.
Wow. This is getting as spread apart as movies now, though, Anthony. Don't you think these different streaming things have different sports rights, and you have to be if I want to watch baseball, I got to go here. If I got to watch soccer, I got to watch football, I got to go here. Is it confusing at all, or does it make it easier to watch these things?
But no, it's definitely confusing, and I don't know that it's great for anybody. Yeah, we'll have to see how this all plays out, because I think a lot of the streamers, they're still losing money. So,
the streaming.
I don't know how long this can all go before investors just completely pull the plug on this stuff.
That's the thing. They need to cut their losses now, because clearly everybody tried, and now they're not willing to go all in, and everybody's freaking out. Even Disney is freaking out.
Disney's cut stuff, and
if Disney couldn't make Disney Plus a go, nobody else is going to be able to be successful outside of the Netflix who started it all. It's kind of crazy. Right. So, yeah, everybody's cutting workers and cutting things. It's going to be interesting. Anyways, listener, let us know what you think about all this. Join the conversation. You can join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. Jock and Nerd. It is an exclusive closed group just for you guys. And then again, we got to do a Barbenheimer update, because Barbie has crossed another huge fucking milestone. Yeah. It is now made over $1 billion.
Oh shit.
In just 18 days, making Greta Gerwig the first solo female director with $1 billion movie. That's fucking wild. 1.03 billion. Worldwide, and it's only been 3 weeks. Where does this thing top out? Super Mario Brothers right now has 1.5 billion top grossing this year. I think it could get there and pass Super Mario Brothers. What do you guys think? Does it deserve $1 billion?
Does it deserve $1 billion?
Or what does this mean? It's crazy.
Well, it's a weird question. Does it deserve it deserves whatever people want to pay for it, I guess.
Think it deserves $1 billion. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think what did Mario Brothers end at? Sorry,
1.5 something, 1.5 billion.
Potentially, I don't know. I'll have to really predict. I know you're asking for an answer there. I don't have anything.
The fact that this occurred, that there's $1 billion movie based on Barbie.
Yeah,
I wonder what the studios, because this is what happens. All of a sudden, $1 billion movie happens, and all the studios are like, how do we do this again?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they don't even know
how it happened in the first place.
What was it? Is it all of the man hating, or is it all of, or is it the fact that it's this beloved IP, this toy that people grew up with? It's part of people's childhood.
Yeah, it's a combination.
Is it what is it that's in Barbie that made it $1 billion movie? Is it Margot Robbie? Is it
Greta Gerwig's point of
view? Is it the musical
think
numbers? Is it the fantasy? This bright, because all of these female oriented characters in the past 10 years have all been these I don't know, the Ray and Captain Marvel and all these scowling. You have Gal Gadot, who's Wonder Woman, who was actually kind of cool, but this is a very colorful, girly movie, right? So It's not like like a superhero movie with a girl in it. Like I don't think that many people are into that idea.
I don't think people are into the idea of a superhero, a female superhero that has no personality and isn't a real person. I think the Rays and the Captain Marvels of the world are just what Hollywood thinks strong women should be.
Right.
And that's not a real person. It's just a woman that's infallible that can do anything at any time. Yeah, that's not really a person.
And you have a doll that literally has no personality, but has more personality than those characters that they tried to make.
It's amazing.
Right. So I think to that question, I think to like what happened, I think it's just everything you listed. I think it's all of those things. I don't think we can point to any one thing. I think it's IP. It became a mega event with Oppenheimer. I mean, you see people in the theater. You see men dressed in pink going to the theater.
Repeat
right?
viewings. People are coming back over and over again.
But it's a movie worth talking about. I mean, we had a pretty awesome discussion about it, regardless of how you feel.
Yeah.
People liked it. You had a good director behind it, a good cast, and you had the Oppenheimer thing and all the above. I mean, I don't know what the lesson is. I think the lesson is like just make a good movie about something that we haven't seen before. I think that might be one of the things, but I don't think there's any straight lesson.
I don't think Hollywood's going to learn that. They're pretty
they're going to
they're already. I mean, they're already greenlighting. I mean, like Mattel is going to do a whole bunch of different movies.
Like
now.
It's time for Polly Pocket to rise. Like let's do a strawberry shortcake movie and make her fucking hate vegetables.
Let's do Uno, the movie.
Uno, it's a card game. We'll turn them into people. Great, done. Here's some money. I don't think they're going to come away with the right lesson. They never do. Meanwhile, Oppenheimer worldwide has crossed $500 million, $556 million.
I'm looking at that now.
For fucking,
you know what's funny
that's crazy.
Too? I'm looking at the worldwide numbers now. That's why it took me a bit to get going here. But Fast X considered a disappointment here.
Yeah,
145, but worldwide total $704 million.
Wow.
80% of its box office came from foreign.
Yeah.
And that's usually when movies do well. Like, for instance, Super Mario Brothers, Barbie, both about 44% domestic and the rest foreign. So huge dichotomy there in terms of what people liked about that movie. And similar, like Mission Impossible, which is only done 151 here, is almost 500 million worldwide. Almost 70% of its box office is foreign.
And that's not bad for that Mission Impossible, even though it got screwed after a week. It got
screwed with where it's at, but
and that had a $300 million budget. But I never understood how Captain Marvel made $1 billion.
What do you mean you didn't understand? It's very easy.
I still don't understand.
But you know why?
Why that movie?
It came out at legitimately the best time you could ever release a Marvel movie.
Oh.
It was in between Infinity War and Endgame.
Oh shit, that's right. I totally forgot about that.
The hype that was
it couldn't
the
have been
absolute
higher.
best time you could ever release one movie, and it was a direct lead into Endgame, and the marketing was all like, "Hey, if you're a female and you don't see this, you're like a loser."
Yeah.
Well, I think there's another thing. There's another aspect that we don't really talk about much, and it's the Marvel fan versus the DC fan.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Oh, the Marvel like Wonder Woman, like essential female strong character is coming out, so
we have to support.
We need to support it." Yeah.
There was that Wonder Woman.
There was a whole
reaction.
like rallying cry around like little girls feeling empowered to see the movie.
Higher, further, faster, baby.
And again, you had it leading into Endgame.
That's true.
The sad thing is that no one's a Captain Marvel fan except for Kamala Khan, who's a fictional character.
I mean, it's unfortunate.
There is no girl.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
I
no
can't find me a real person that has pictures on the wall like Kamala Khan has of Brie Larson.
That's why that when they decided to do that show, I like the casting of Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is a really weird thing to already be pushing because, like Rugg said, no one was a fan of Captain Marvel. And not only that, she was only around for like one movie which was
90s.
in the 90s.
Yeah. How does anybody know?
So how would that girl grow up to be a fan of her?
It would make sense if the girl had comic book versions of like you could be a fan of it. But yeah, in that reality, they show
all this to say is the Marvels might be a disappointment.
By the way,
box office.
did you notice on Saturday, ABC showed the first 3 episodes of Miss Marvel on linear network television?
Yeah, but wasn't it at like 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday?
No, it was like 7. It was prime time. It was this prime time 7 to 10 o'clock slot, 7, 8, 9 here in Central Time.
Interesting.
But then they ran, of course, the Marvels commercials in there trying to get people excited and into it or whatever. I don't know if it worked, but I was like, oh, I watched it again. I was like, oh, the show was so much fun. It was just
well, it's because it was the lowest watched Marvel show.
Nobody watched that fucking.
And
yeah,
you know, as we've discussed, the Marvels is a sequel to like 5 things.
Yeah. Nobody watched Secret Invasion either. That's even lower. So good luck.
That's
good
also
luck
a lead
with
into
the Marvels. Yeah, I don't know if there'll be another $1 billion movie this year.
No, I can.
That's the
I will
big
definitively
discussion.
say that movie's not making $1 billion.
Not that one. What about Dune 2? I don't think that makes $1 billion, and there's really nothing else.
No.
Dune? No. Yeah, I don't think the rest of the year you're getting $1 billion.
I don't think Dune is going to make more money than the first Dune because you have to watch the first one. I mean,
yeah, no chance. Dune, the first one made 402 worldwide.
Yeah.
So like
total.
Yeah. So let's say like however many people watched it in the box office. Maybe a few people watched it on streaming, but like I don't think it's enough to make a like double it for example.
A lot of people find that first movie a little boring. I don't blame them. I can see why.
So, since we're on the movie thing, I'm going to spoil a little bit of what I'm going to say later.
Oh, okay.
But this like month, or like 4 to 5 weeks, pretty nice string of movies.
Top notch, a lot of fun. Yeah, I think, and then
a lot of variety, a lot of different ideas, things on screen done, like new things you're kind of seeing, new ways of putting things out there. So
almost like it's the fucking 90s again. And now we reach the dry spell. August is traditionally garbage, so ain't nothing coming out for a while. Let's see if the theaters overall, apparently I read $6 billion box office total, which is up like 25% from last year at the same time.
I mean, hell, when I saw Teenage Mutant Turtles yesterday at 7:30, while my theater wasn't packed, there was still like a buzz, and I think there were still a lot of people seeing Barbie.
Yes,
and all
there
this
were.
shit too.
Me too. When I went too, there was a lot of people in my theater, but there was a lot of people.
Yeah, there was Barbie people.
A lot of theaters are sold out. People are still seeing Barbie, having a hard time finding tickets to Barbie. It is. So wait, here's my question: does Barbie get to $1 billion without Barbenheimer? Without Oppenheimer?
I don't think so.
Right? It's all these things combined. They're clever marketing, the intrigue about what this movie is, and then the whole Barbenheimer thing.
No, it's a fluke.
It's a fluke. You can't do this.
A little bit of a fluke. I agree. I don't think this is something you can replicate.
Yeah. So like in a normal, if there was no Oppenheimer, does Barbie make $1 billion? I don't.
Let me ask you guys that we're on the box office. Why do you think Super Mario Brothers became such a big hit?
I don't know.
Because I didn't even see it.
I was going to talk about this in What Are We Watching? I watched it. It's available on Peacock now.
I should probably watch it.
And it's all right. It was all right. It was cute. It was nostalgic.
But it's not like a new animation style. We've seen that animation style.
Right. Yep.
Was it? The reviews were mid.
I don't think that it needed to be new. It just needed to
be good.
It just needed to bring Mario into a movie that people can enjoy. And that's exactly what it did. It was like a very lighthearted kind of bringing the video game to life type thing. And I think that kids, that's all they want. They don't have very high expectations. So kids love Mario because 90% of the games that they start out playing on that Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
And that's what like a large portion of kids are playing on is that Switch. So like that's all tied into the success of Mario.
And that's pretty much it. Like I am surprised and not surprised because it is a family movie and all they had to do was cater to the kids and make it look decent. And they haven't really made a good Mario theatrical thing ever. So you just had to be adequate. It just had to be decent. And it was a fun movie. There's a lot of Easter eggs. It reminds you of the game, but $1 billion is great. And it was fine. It was all right. The Peaches song is funny. The voice acting is fine. It's Chris Pratt with like a slight New York accent. It was fine.
Well, so just for reference, so this year for $1 billion movies, we got 2.
Yeah.
Probably going to end at 2.
Yeah.
2022, you had 3. Avatar, Top Gun Maverick, Jurassic World Dominion, and then Doctor Strange almost got there. 2021, I'm trying to tell a story of the decline of the theaters.
Yeah.
2021, obviously, Spider-Man No Way Home. That was it. 2020 is a wash.
Yeah.
But in 2019,
Oh boy, there's
before all this shit hit,
a bunch, I bet.
you had $9
what?
billion movies.
What?
Oh shit.
Half of those are Marvel movies, I imagine.
You want me to read them?
Yes.
Avengers Endgame, Lion King, Frozen 2, Spider-Man Far From Home, Captain Marvel, Joker, Star Wars Episode 6, Toy Story 4, Aladdin.
Wow. Toy Story 4 made $1 billion, and yeah, those all did. I forgot that Spider-Man
Mostly
movie
all Disney stuff.
And now that's 9, and now we're like, holy shit, there's 2
Now we're
movies
2, yeah.
with $1 billion. Is a
2,
big
and not,
deal.
not Disney, neither.
No, and not a Marvel. Yeah, not a Marvel or Disney joint. And
Yeah.
I mean, the whole industry is slowly. Look at how long it's taken to recover. From,
I mean, and you can't even say it really has recovered.
no, it's still on. It's still recovering.
Right.
It's gonna take years at this pace. Jesus.
Do we have a $3 billion movie? Like where 3 movies make $1 billion?
This year?
No. Like, do you think that's in the cards for next year or another year?
Oh, we gotta
No.
work back up one movie at a time.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I don't know because I wouldn't have predicted Barbie here.
What do we have on the schedule that's coming up that could be $1 billion movie?
I mean, what this year and next year, the schedule's fucked. People are moving
bad.
things. Nothing's gonna
Like Aquaman's not going to make $1 billion.
No, even though
Yeah,
that first
Aquaman.
one made $1 billion, you would think the second one, no chance.
Yeah, Aquaman.
The fact that Aquaman made $1 billion, just
That's
tells you
also
everything.
makes no sense.
Yeah.
there's a
That's
Hunger
Luke.
Games movie coming out.
Oh, but none of those have broken $1 billion. They've gotten
Oh, no?
to like
Okay.
800.
No, and I think that actress fucked up with Snow White and is getting bad press now. So
Yeah,
That's Snow White.
the West Side
the
Story
dwarf
girl.
castings.
Oh, that
God.
too. Oh boy. But does anybody care about the Hunger Games? I'm surprised they're still making Hunger Games movies.
Did you see the cast of Snow White and Seven Dwarfs? the dwarfs.
Yeah, no. What are
There's
they?
only like one real little person in the cast.
Well, have you seen the Wonka trailer with Timothy
looks a little
Chalamet?
interesting.
Well, they got Hugh Grant as an
I know.
Oompa Loompa instead of there was real little people in the first Wonka. And Gene
I know.
Wilder.
I saw the one. What's his name? Piers Morgan had
they're mad about
had
that
like
too.
a little person
Yeah,
on his show. Like, look at this. Hollywood's even taking it from the little
See,
people.
it's just, I told you, Colin Firth or Colin, what's his name, as Penguin in a fat suit. They're taking away jobs from little people, fat people, ugly people. It's a fucking conspiracy. They just
No, they're not. There's plenty of ugly people on film.
are there.
Yeah.
There's plenty. There's definitely a lot of ugly
I
people.
don't see the.
Imran, you have as good a chance as anyone to get on film.
Oh, that's so nice
Oh,
of you.
wow.
That's the nicest thing he's ever said to me. You
I mean, because
I'm
you're
just
ugly,
saying.
because you're hot.
you're saying there's a chance.
Oh, Imran is
All right.
beautiful.
Speaking of beautiful people, I want to talk about some MCU casting
Godzilla
rumors.
versus Kong, New Empire.
Oh, what
Bank on it.
What about
$1 billion
that?
movie.
$1 billion? You think so? Is that coming out next year? I don't know.
It is 2014.
None of the Godzilla movies made it close
2024.
to $1 billion.
No.
They won't.
Nope, but Godzilla versus Kong is credited as one of the movies that helped bring back people to go into the theaters.
Yeah, I wonder. It's
There's-
possible.
There's not a lot.
What did that do? Godzilla versus Kong. Money
Let's
wise,
see. 20
400 something. 500?
470.
Oh, 4 between 4. Okay.
during
100
COVID.
million here.
During COVID.
370 worldwide, or 370 at the other places. Yeah, it came out March 31st, 2021. That was, I don't even think the shot was out yet for everybody.
No.
No, I think they just came out because I remember when I went to the theater, I was like dressed like a mummy.
It was in plastic wrap, bubble wrap, with plastic bag on his head.
I was breathing
gotta see
my own
Godzilla.
CO2. Yeah, I was breathing my
Got
own
an oxygen
CO2.
tank and shit. I am breathing in this air. Fuck you. Play the movie. That is the funniest image.
That's a funny image.
Okay, moving on.
All right, enough about movies.
Enough
Let's
about-
talk more about movies.
We got more movies. MCU, Fantastic Four casting rumors. These rumors are not gone away. But according to the Hot Mic podcast, Jeff Snyder writes for Above the Line.
Is he ever right?
Yeah, no.
You quote him all the time. Is he actually right?
Yeah,
sometimes?
he has a website called AboveTheLine.com where he posts these scoops.
Okay.
So he is a writer. John Roca's the host, of course. He was on, had a big scoop. He pretty much says it is like a 95% lock that Vanessa Kirby is playing Sue Storm,
Geek boner.
and the Fantastic Four, and they want to. She's going to be the lead, like the focus. The movie's going to revolve around
Oh,
Sue
interesting.
Storm, apparently. So, but not Margot Robbie, Vanessa Kirby may have locked in that role. And then Johnny Storm, he got his names confused. JQ initials. You will see articles saying Jack Quaid, but it's not. It's Johnny Quinn, who is in Stranger Things. He played Eddie in Stranger Things, Ruggs. The last season, he played the guitar.
He's going to be the Human Torch.
He apparently is going to be the Human Torch. Also, that dude from Andor and the Bear, Ebon Moss-Backrack, who's a great actor, might be not Galactus or Silver Surfer, but Terrax, another herald.
Terrax. Yeah.
As far as, and then the other rumor is that it is reportedly being, this is from different, beyond the trailer, it's going to be set in the 60s. And
I think I called that a long time ago.
yeah, I think we did talk about that. It should start in the 60s, and then they will find their way into the present.
they go through a wormhole, and then they come back here.
That would make sense. That would make sense. And then maybe Galactus, it has to find them through the wormhole, like they're fighting him and they escape, and then they're in the present. That would work. I'd buy that. That'd be kind of cool.
For $1?
I'd buy that for $1. Regarding the Reed Richard rumors, so we talked about at one point Adam Driver was apparently a lock, and then I see stories where Adam Driver says, I passed on the role. I couldn't connect with the character or the script, but apparently Adam Driver is still in the mix. Matt Smith also rumored to be in the mix for Reed Richards, and Dev Patel on the short list for Reed Richards. I would do a Dev Patel Reed Richards. Come on, make a brown guy the fucking Reed Richards. Be fantastic.
Richard Barker.
I like Vanessa Kirby.
Vanessa Kirby, I think, is going to be great as Sue Storm if this is true. We just saw her in the Mission Impossible. She's great. She
Only thing is, what, is she 40 already?
No, is she? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think
she can play young.
Up there. I mean, she looks great, but I think she's pretty old. No, I mean, that's not old. But.
She is 35. You fuck. That's not old.
Yeah, that's it. Things are dried up by then.
Yeah, you're done.
She's done.
Stick a fork in her.
Just kidding. Still looks great. Yeah.
Jack Quaid may also be in the movie just as somebody else. But there you go. So I don't know. I don't know when they're going to announce.
Well, we don't even know when it's going to film.
I know.
They can't do anything right now, right?
I think the script is done.
I think Jack Quaid would make a good Reed Richards.
Jack
I don't understand why.
He's a little goofy though. He does it good with. You need he plays good goofy.
But people. I think Reed Richards is goofy.
You think?
Well, I would like Jack Quaid as Reed Richards.
He's been everywhere. He's on Star Trek Lower Decks. I saw him in a bunch of things in the other Star Trek show.
Wasn't he in? Was he in Mission Impossible?
He was in Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. That's right.
He's there. I'm like fucking Jack Quaid.
Where did I was like, what movie did I just see
saw
him in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is. When he popped up in there, I'm like, fucking Jack Quaid gets around. He's in fucking everything right now. So that I thought interesting rumors. We'll see if the Vanessa Kirby thing is true, but usually he is accurate. Let's move on to some DC casting rumors. Did you see this article? Apparently, Gal Gadot has said that she's working with Peter Gunn and Safran to develop
James Gunn or Peter?
Peter Gunn, James Gunn, Peter Safran. He is working with Gunn and Safran to develop a Wonder Woman 3, which is very strange. They have not recast her. She is still Wonder Woman. Now, remember, Patty Jenkins had a 3, and then James Gunn looked at that script and he's like, nah, they're not doing this. And she's like, all right, I'm out. And she leaves. But Gal Gadot is still around. What do you guys think? Should they keep Gal, even though is she going to be the only one they keep? Henry Cavill he doesn't like Cavill. He could have still reused Cavill, maybe, and Affleck, no, but keep the Gal. It's a little confusing.
Yeah, I don't get this, but this is James Gunn. I don't get anything he's doing, really, to be honest with you.
He does have interesting choices.
Nothing makes any sense that he's done. Got rid of Cavill. He ended all this stuff, and he's rebooting, but not rebooting everything. So, yeah.
And so
it would make the most sense to do a clean cut, right?
Yeah.
That being said, I think Gal Gadot, my unofficial polling, which is just myself and whatever I think I've read, I would say Gal Gadot is probably the first most popular, people connect with the most, her and maybe Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
The rest, you could, maybe then Ben Affleck and then
Momoa as Lobo
and then,
instead. I don't know.
Well, no, I'm saying like connect with as in really liked their character,
Right.
them portraying that person.
Sure.
So, I don't know. It'd be very confusing.
I mean,
Gal Gadot, but
yeah, and
I don't know.
She was great. Look,
She's a big star.
She's a big star. She was great in the first one. But also, I wouldn't mind seeing somebody new that maybe is a little bit higher quality actor, let's say. Like, she's an all right actress, right? She's okay.
She's okay.
Someone without an accent, maybe?
Yeah, how about someone that doesn't force the rest of the cast to learn an Israeli accent because that's just how you talk. You don't do accents. How about a real actor? I don't know.
She's fine.
She's just fine though, but don't you want someone like really good to relaunch this Wonder Woman? It wouldn't be Wonder Woman 3, it would be like another Wonder Woman 1. You'd have to redo all of it. I don't know. Confounding.
I just think this whole rebooting thing is just he's got a tough job. I don't know what it's going to be tough.
So speaking of this reboot, let's going to end on this. Was the further casting news for Superman Legacy? We did not talk about this on the show. It happened a while ago. We did talk about David Corn's Sweat. The guy, if you squint hard enough, looks like Henry Cavill, is now Superman. Rachel Brosnahan, Miss Maisel as Lois Lane. I think she'll do great. Here's the additional casting. He said this is a Superman that's young, but he lives in a world of heroes, of powered people, and he's cast a bunch of them. Here's the biggest one. Nathan Fillion is going to be fucking Guy Gardner.
Oh, shit.
That's weird.
What does everybody think about that?
Hal Jordan, maybe. Guy Gardner, weird. That's weird.
Guy Gardner's more of a jock.
Yeah.
Kind of like an asshole.
He's an asshole. Yeah, he's cocky.
I think Nathan Fillion could do it. It's not everyone thinks of him more as Hal. Because I think Nathan Fillion slides more into that goofball, like cocky goofball.
Right.
Rather than jock.
Right.
What that tells me is that the Guy Gardner's not going to be the main Green Lantern.
Well,
when they fully start getting into it,
that just tells me that James Gunn hires his friends. That's all.
That's also true. Yes,
that's been a thing for a while.
They are good buddies. He was supposed to be Wonder Man in one of the Guardians movies, and I think all that stuff got cut. So here we got Guy Gardner in the Superman movie. Who else?
He was in the Guardians movie.
Was that? Oh yeah, he was in the third one.
He was in Guardians 3.
He was in the third one. That's right. Yeah. I forgot. He was in that ridiculous puffy suit. That suit was great.
He was the detachable arm guy in Suicide Squad.
And he was right. So he was already TDK in the thing, and now he's going to be Guy Gardner. That was funny too. Like his arms actually came off. But yeah, he's good friends with Gunn. So Guy Gardner in this movie. Here's the other heroes that are in the Superman movie. Isabella Merced has been cast as Hawk Girl. We have Edie Gathegi, who's playing Mr. Terrific. And then Anthony Kerrigan is playing Metamorpho. Anthony Kerrigan, you may remember, he's been on Barry recently. He's that bald dude who has no eyebrows. He played Victor Zsasz on Gotham. He's been on The Flash. He kind of looks like Metamorpho. That's a good casting. But my question is, what is this movie? You got fucking Metamorpho, Mr. Terrific, and Hawkgirl, and Guy Gardner in this Superman movie. Will there be hopefully enough time for Superman in this movie?
I'm sure they're all small. I'm sure they're all very small parts.
I hope they do it well. You can do it like there's two ways of doing it. You could do it the way Civil War did, where they introduced a lot of new characters that you wanted to see.
All right.
Like Black Panther, Spider-Man. Or you could do it the way Black Adam did it, where they introduced a lot of characters and no one wanted to see them after.
I feel like that's what's going to happen. That Black Adam was like, oh, look at all these people. But then...
all these people. But you don't really get a feel for any of them.
No, I don't know who anybody is.
The only one that you thought was cool, Mr.
Dr. Fate.
Dr. Fate, you kill him.
Yeah, he dies. Hawkman had a cool costume, but I don't know anything about
Who's Hawkman? You still don't know shit about him.
One guy got big. The other girl was a tornado. I don't know. That's all I know. So we'll see how this cast is shaping up. And, of course, nothing is happening on any movies because of the strike. I'll tell you what, I've been watching My Adventures with Superman on the Max, the animated half-hour show. It's not bad. It skews younger. I feel like if Gunn is going to, it's very fresh and wholesome and like hopeful. It's written pretty good. It's good chemistry with the characters. I feel like he may take some inspiration of the tone from this show. They did something smart, like 3 episodes in. Like Jimmy and Lois, they figured out that Clark is Superman. Like they didn't, because they're smart people. and they're good friends with him. And this guy just shows up. They're not idiots. They were able to figure out. I was like, oh, look, they're.
But why are they making Superman an idiot?
He's like, I mean, he's like got a crush on Lois, so he bumbles. He's learning his powers.
Like, how do you like pretend? Like, is he a moron and then you can't be both?
He's learning how to be Superman. This is literally like the first time he's put on this costume and like trying to figure out. He doesn't even know what his powers are completely. So there's a mystery there, and then there's bad guys. There's an episodic flair, but there's an overarching thing. It's not a bad show. It's no Harley Quinn season 4, which is also odd, but which is fucking fantastic.
I did watch it. And I do think it's kind of like got a nice tone, but I do think that they overly make Superman into an idiot. So,
well, I mean, he's got to grow. Like he's got to grow into Superman. He's just got the fucking suit. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
I don't know. I feel like if I have powers like that, I have a little bit more, self-assurance, maybe.
Like, how old do you think he is in that show? He's like in his early 20s, it seems, right?
He graduated college, and he's probably his first job, so he's probably in his mid-20s.
Yeah, they're interns at the paper, so.
Yeah.
It's not a bad show. That and like you watch like Harlequin is all swears, and then that's like really wholesome. It's kind of a fun thing to watch back and back. Completely different tones. One's really violent, and one is Superman. All right. Anyways, that's it for the news. Let's take a quick break here. Listener, play some promos, and we'll be back and talk about turtles. I like turtles.
Did you get the drop for that?
I didn't fucking clip it. I'm going to do it right now.
Oh, you dumbass.
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Transmission commencing.
This is Wookiee Radio. Translated for the Wookiee impaired. I like that Wookiee. Your hosts, Ken, Derek, and Mike, bring you the latest news and commentary from the far reaches of the galaxy.
Hold it. Hold it. I said hold it.
Subscribe today on iTunes and Stitcher.
I just assumed he's a Wookiee.
Start listening today, and remember,
The Force will be with you, always.
What's up? This is Brian, and I'm the host of Citizens of Pawnee, a Parks and Recreation podcast. That's right, a podcast dedicated to my favorite TV show, Parks and Rec. Every week I discuss my favorite things about the show, which include character breakdowns, episode rewatches, and other random facts and tidbits about the show. You can find me on Instagram at Citizens of Pawnee Podcast and listen wherever you get your podcast now. You will literally love it.
Jock and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the show, this is a fantastic time to give back. Join the Jock and Nerd Patreon fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd. And you can give back. There's tiers. You can give back monthly, annual basis. You get stuff. There's an exclusive podcast feed where the shows come out early. Bonus content, instant reactions to movies. Hours of bonus stuff there. You get Discord benefits. You can hang out on our monthly Discord where we love to hang out and geek out. This month, August 24th, 8 p.m. Put it in your calendar. It's a Thursday. That's the date for this month's hangout. And there's a tier where you can pick any movie you want us to watch and review. And there's a tier where you get an exclusive t-shirt. Lots of fun stuff. We appreciate all the support and the continued support from our Patreon producers. Thank you very much. jockandnerd.com.
We need more patrons.
We absolutely need more. I'd love to get some more. We've kind of stalled out at the
let's get
number.
like at least let's try and get 4 this month.
Oh,
4 new.
4 will be great.
Wow.
I would love 10 to 15 more, but 4 is manageable.
I would love 30 more.
I mean,
sure.
Let's be realistic.
50
if
is
we could get 4 more. That'd be amazing.
4. Listen, we're approaching our 500th episode. That would be a great celebratory thing. Great gift. Join the Patreon. 500 episodes. We only missed 3 weeks. That's worth something. That's worth at least $3 a month. Come on.
Sure.
Right? Anyways, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Link in the description for all the deets, as the kids say. Speaking of kids, we're going to talk about some kids in this week's movie review. We are reviewing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Here's your spoiler
Heroes in a hard
alerts.
shell.
Turtle power.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
I like turtles.
Of course, we have to have the zombie turtle kid. I'll be playing that a lot with us. It's just so funny.
I like turtles.
I like turtles too, kid. Well put. This, of course, is based on the comic books created by Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird, independent black and white crew. These guys printed it themselves. First issue came out in 1984. And, I used to collect comics in the late 80s, early 90s, and I'm kicking myself because all I needed to do, even if it was a little bit high at the time, was find a first issue of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and preserve it. Why? Because they only printed about 3,275 copies of that black and white comic.
Extremely rare, yeah.
Recently, a 9.8 version sold for $230,000.
Nice.
Yes, that's how much it's like one of the highest 80s comics values ever. And if you can find one, and man, in the 90s, I remember seeing it in the listings, and even then it was maybe like $100 or something. I should have fucking bought it. I need to go back in time. Anyways, this is the 7th theatrical TMNT movie, and it's kind of a reboot of the whole series, a reboot. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's still holding a 96%.
Wow.
7.6 out of 10. Audience score, 92%. This animated feature film was made for $70 million. It came out on a last Wednesday. So the 3-day opening weekend total, $28 million. 5-day, $43 million.
That's plus or just altogether?
Altogether. Total is 43.
Yeah, that's a little disappointing.
I mean, it made $70 million, so it's close to making its money back. It actually came in 4th this weekend. Barbie's still number 1. Meg 2, which I heard is horrible, beating it out. 2nd place opening weekend. Oppenheimer number 3. Turtles at 4, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, they all were doing 28. I mean, they were all kind of bunched up together.
Yeah, 28, 29, 30. Yeah, I heard Meg 2 is nuts.
What's the budget on it? 70?
$70 million. And it's already now.
I think it'll make its.
It's an impressive film for that amount of money,
right? It's good. Yeah. It's a good budget. It's already at 51 million worldwide. It should make its money back and then some, hopefully. This one is directed by Jeff Rowe and Kyle Spears, from a screenplay he co-wrote with Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, Dan Hernandez, and Benji Sammet. Jeff Rowe, I think, also directed Mitchell's versus the Machines for Netflix, which has a similar animation style. Music by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. These guys do great scores and soundtracks. I mean, they did Watchmen. They did a bunch of other movies.
Did they do Soul? And did they do Soul and another movie in the same year, and both were nominated for Oscars?
And it's just weird that this is fucking Trent Reznor from 9 Inch Nails getting Oscar nominations for amazing. I mean, the guy's a fucking genius.
Oh, he's got good taste.
Yeah, he's a genius musician. Whatever he's doing. Starring, so
they did Soul and Mank in the same year, and both got nominated for
Mank.
Oscars.
I forgot about Mank. They did Mank too and Soul, 2 totally different things.
Right?
Yeah, that's crazy. Voicing the Turtles are, I believe, like first-time young actors. I don't think
4 teenagers.
4 teenagers. Donatello voiced by Micah Abbey, Michelangelo voiced by Shimon Brown Jr., Leonardo voiced by Nicholas Cantu, Raphael voiced by Brady Noon. I didn't really look up what they've done before, but they are clearly teenagers.
They're all teenagers.
Yeah, they're all
they are definitely teenagers.
Yeah, they're great. Joining the voice cast is Ayo Edebiri as April. She's having a great year. She's in Bear. I think she's in that movie Theater Camp. She's fantastic. I love her on The Bear on Hulu. Maya Rudolph is in this. John Cena as Rocksteady. Seth Rogen as Bebop. You got Rose Byrne as Leatherhead. Natasha Demetriou. Giancarlo Esposito voicing Baxter Stockman, Jackie Chan as Splinter, Ice Cube as Superfly, Paul Rudd as Mongo Gecko, Post Malone as Ray Fillet, Hannibal Buress as Genghis Frog, and some other people. Pretty awesome voice cast there. Anthony, let's start with you. Tell me a little bit about your Turtles history, your connection to this franchise first.
Yeah, I grew up. Teenage Mutant Turtles was one of the many things I really liked as a kid. I loved the cartoon. I loved playing the video game whenever I go to the arcade. Yep, that was me. I actually answered like that every time someone asked me a question as well. And I loved the first two movies as a kid. Those were movies that I always had on repeat on VHS. The third one, even as a kid, I watched it and went, this is a weird movie. And then I had, when I kind of got into my teenage years, I kind of lost track of the Turtles. So TMNT, never saw that. I never watched the Michael Bay Turtle produced one, so I haven't seen those two. So I took a break from the Turtles. Haven't really watched any of the TV shows or anything like that. But now that we're doing this podcast and watching all sorts of shit, this movie kind of put me back into that. This like that nostalgia of I used to really like that stuff. So I have a good, and I remember we reviewed the original one like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
So I have a pretty strong connection as a child. It's a big part of my childhood. Teenage Mutant Turtles was up there with like Ghostbusters and X-Men and Spider-Man and Godzilla and Predator, Terminator, all that stuff. It was right up there with everything.
It is crazy. It's such a huge franchise. It's been around for almost 40 years now, kicking in different versions. Like I said, I remember discovering the comic book and the gritty black and white comic book, and I was totally into it. And then the toys came out, and I was like, I got to get these fucking toys. And then that cartoon came out. I was like, oh, this is for kids, but I'm still going to watch it. It was a lot of fun. And I was in. And then when the first movie comes out is when like the first wave of popularity kind of goes down. It was dying, and they put that first movie out, but I love that first movie. It's still like those animatronic heads and dudes in suits doing fucking karate. You're never going to replace that. But then I also kind of dropped out. Didn't watch the Bay movies. I think I watched the CGI movie from 2007. There's like 5 different shows, 7 different movies, made for TV movies. And then suddenly this movie comes out and kind of restarts it all. And just like you, reinvigorated I was like, oh my God, I used to be really into this. I used to love these Turtles. And now I remember why. Ruggs, what about you? What's your story with the Turtles?
I remember buying the collected editions of the black and white comics.
The trade paperback, yes.
I'm talking about like 1980, 90, late 80s, 90s.
Yep.
And this is before the movie came out, before the cartoon came out. And I thought that they were cool. And if you read the collected editions, you get to a part where it gets pretty fucking wacky and they're out in outer space and shit. And there's like a fucking girl like who's like scantily clad with a sword and shit. So there's like, it goes into weird spaces.
Yeah.
But that first volume of the Ninja Turtles was like what they based the cartoon and the movie off of, where, they had like the whole ninja thing was like a major thing. And they tried to like be true to that to some degree. And, I really dug what they ended up doing with the cartoon is that they gave the individuals personalities and they changed the colors so you could kind of tell which one was which.
Right.
Because in the comic books, they're all wearing the same color.
Yeah. Well, it's black and white. And you didn't know it.
Yeah. So, and I think that they kind of fed off of each other. And I think that at that point, Eastman and Liard had some part in those things because I don't know why. Usually things don't stick to the comic books as much as those first things did.
Right.
So, I really like the Turtles. And I pretty much watched everything except for like the new animated series that have like recently come up. So like I've watched all of the movies, but I haven't watched every animated series because there's so many.
There are.
And this is the thing. It's like, how many times can you restart an anime? There's so many versions.
Sure. And there's made for TV movies. There's 5 shows.
There's also a Batman versus to me.
Which is pretty cool.
I heard that's pretty good. There's a multiverse made for TV movie from 2009, Turtles Forever.
That's the one that does the 80s and then merges it with the early 2000s.
So
TMNT.
clearly, this is a franchise that like you can have the core concept and take liberties and kind of restart it for every generation.
I thought about that real quick. TMNT at a lesser scale is kind of reminds me of Godzilla.
Sure.
In that it started out very serious and then got very kiddie. And then now there's all sorts of different variations of the Turtles and what it can be, right? It can be serious, but can also be kiddie.
Mm-hmm.
You can play up the ninja part. You can play up the teenage part.
Yep.
Similar to Godzilla, where it can be a very serious thing, nuclear weapon. Then it can be a kid's thing, and then it can be this, right? So it's one of those kind of franchises.
Batman had a similar kind of thing.
Too, yeah.
It's serious. It could be kiddie, and it could be dark. It could be fun. So these are characters.
But that you could say that about anything.
Well,
that's just corporate greed and market share. Like going after different markets. I don't know if that's artistically good.
Well, let's talk about this case. Anthony, what happens in this new resetting of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? What happens in the movie?
This is a movie that focuses very much on the teenage aspect of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I would say this is a coming-of-age story where the Turtles are teenagers that are longing to be outside of the sewers and have a normal life. And they have a very protective dad, played by Jackie Chan, Splinter, that is not letting them because of reasons that we can get into later. And their way of getting themselves ingratiated into the human society is to take down this criminal called Superfly that has been stealing a bunch of different equipment with nefarious plans to eventually do some shit to the world. So,
and coming out of this, after all the nostalgia and Easter eggs and awesome soundtrack, what'd you think of this version?
I really enjoyed it. I know that they did take some liberties with the origin, or some of the stuff. There was some changes there, but overall, I thought I enjoyed it. I liked. First off, I think we're in kind of a phase here with animation, where the 3D thing, which was the thing for 15 to 20, 30 years, since Toy Story, is now considered old school, old fashioned. And now that we're doing, with Spider-Verse and this, and there's some other movies, I think Puss in Boots and some other ones that have done this like 3D, 2D amalgamation of shit. And I like it. I think we're seeing a real renaissance here with animation. So there's one there. I think you named who's doing the soundtrack. I think the soundtrack is great, but I think what I enjoyed most about the movie is I think it's very there's a lot of movies where the plot and the character arcs are intertwined in a way that makes everything come together and is in lockstep. And I think this plot being a coming of age story for the Turtles, but then also kind of about acceptance and how the Turtles are looking to be accepted, but the villain's looking to be accepted, and April's looking to be accepted, and Splinter's looking to be accepted. And they're all intertwined in a way where their arc plays out, and the plot and the arc each make each other move that propel the story forward. So I thought overall it was a solid story with some good dialogue, some fun writing. Not exactly the most like revolutionary story, but it knew what it was doing, and it stayed in that place. And I just had a lot of fun with it. So I enjoyed it. Nice. As I've said, it made me want to go back and watch some of the Turtle stuff that I've missed. Yeah, and it made me want to go and read some of the good... There's some great comic book runs and stories from IDW and Mirage of the Turtles. And The Last Ronin, I heard it's really good. But it did make me want to go back. I'll say really quickly...
I like turtles.
And...
I love this movie.
I really enjoyed this movie. It was so fun. Very refreshing. I thought it was a really great start to a new generation of Turtles. Like you said, the animation was stunning. It's not like No Way Across the Spider-Verse, but it's just as interesting. The grungy, dirty art style. It literally is. If you look at, and the filmmakers have talked about, they were inspired by teenagers' doodles in their notebooks. I can pull out to you my fucking science notebooks from high school, and in the corners is drawings of Turtles, Spider-Man, Batman. There's no fucking notes. I don't know how I passed high school. There's no fucking notes. There's me drawing Ninja Turtles, and it reminded me of that. Part of it looks like stop motion, and it's the 2D, 3D blend, and the doodle that you could see the sketch lines was fucking great. The Dirty City was great. I loved the grotesque character designs. This wasn't your round, cute, big-eyed character models. These are like Picasso, Cubist, grotesque, misshapen heads. The mutants were disturbing, and just the humans were fucking disturbing. I love that. Like, everybody was a freak. And as far as the story, very relatable. I love that they're Gen Z Turtles. The fucking soundtrack, De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, No Diggity. Are you kidding me? Fucking Old Dirty Bastard in there. I did not expect. I love it because, again, I was listening to hip hop in the late 80s, early 90s, the same songs while I was reading and getting into the Turtles. So for me, old school hip hop and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles go hand in hand. It's like chocolate and peanut butter. So it was a very, very perfect combination. And yeah, no, great. I thought the voice acting was great. I had a good time. I want to see more of these guys. Their chemistry together was great. Ruggs, are you going to shit all over this? What'd you think?
I like Turtles.
I like Turtles.
Okay.
I don't love this movie, but I liked it. I did enjoy it. In fact, it elicited a response, an emotional response towards the end of the movie when they had to like team up and fucking go for it and not give up. I was like really on board, and I was like, yeah. I was like fucking clenched my fist, and I was like, yeah, you fucking get that, Superfly. And I was into it. So like it did wrap its hooks around me, and I did end up investing myself into this movie. So it did something great there, but it's like one of those things. I can't look away from the flaws when I'm noticing as the film's going on. Yep. But for the most part, those are nitpicks in the grand scheme of things. But I did think it's a pretty good movie. I just think narratively the biggest flaw is that there's no tie to Shredder.
That is interesting change they have made.
Yeah,
and I think narratively that hurts the Turtles a lot.
There.
Let's start before we get into Shredder, because I think we can get to that. But I think, what did you think, Ruggs, of the changes narratively not narratively, but just overall to the Turtles, as in they learned it from watching TV, really.
VHS
how
tapes.
to do it.
Yeah,
well,
I hate
it sounds like Splinter learned it too from that.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate that with a passion.
Yeah, but they were watching Bruce Lee shit. Did you notice that? They're watching some good shit.
But they're not. That's not ninjutsu.
Okay, sure.
That's Hong Kong shit.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like if you're a purist about ninjutsu, like you're like, that's Japanese,
right.
And it's so it's a little insulting, I guess. I don't know if it is, but like I would think it would be, But it is cool because they watch the kung fu movies. I think you could have both. Why can't they really be learning ninjutsu and like kung fu movies? Like, I don't know.
The thing is, in this version, he was just a rat.
He was just a rat,
and
But the story doesn't change. Like rats, people still hate rats.
Yeah,
but it gets away from the fact that he had this master who taught him,
right,
and also ties into the fact that he probably now doesn't have the tie to Shredder because of that.
But maybe he does. We don't know. They could write something.
I don't know.
It doesn't look like it with that post.
That cripples that. To me, that cripples one of the main narratives that has been in almost every Turtles movie.
Yeah, what was his name? Yoshi something? Hamato Yoshi and Orokusaki was Shredder. Yeah, so one version had him as his pet rat. And then he learned watching him, and he got mutated. And then
in one version, I think in the comics, he's a human, and he turns into a rat.
He's actually the other guy, and then he becomes the rat. Right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that I thought about that. I do agree that the potential loss of the Shredder personalization could be a detriment to this, but they've also I don't even think they don't really even. They've changed their origins on this a couple times, where he was the rat, then he taught the rat. So like Splinter's origin isn't exactly the most clear either. So I don't know. For this movie, I thought they kind of bought it.
Yeah,
no, you're right.
You can play it.
Yeah, you're right. It works fine. Yeah. Like it doesn't like destroy the movie.
I think what they were doing here is they were trying to make it so the rat, because he's a rat, the rat has this worldview that he's never accepted as well.
Right.
So it ties into the overall theme of acceptance.
Yeah, for this particular movie, it works better, but for the Ninja Turtle lore and the potential for a better villain relationship, because then they're arch enemies and they're related, and sometimes I hate that shit too, like when they're related.
Right, when it's too tied together.
But I think, if you're gonna have a ninja clan in New York, it'd be cool. Like, all right. That's weird. There's a ninja clan taking over the city.
Well, this first one, no Shredder, no Foot Clan. I didn't mind that, actually, them saving that for the second movie. I like these villains, but then this Splinter sets up for him being this burnout, overprotective dad, and you understand why he's afraid to send his kids out into the world and tells them to hide.
They played up more the fact that he's a dad rather than he's like their master trainer.
And it was so cute when they're all like, Dad. They all call him Dad at the same time.
What did you think, Ruggs, of they age down April and obviously they change her race. They age her down, make her the same age as them, and she's not a reporter yet.
I don't think that adds anything to the movie except the fact that Leonardo has a crush on her and thinks he's gonna.
They always do that thing too. Like one of them always has a crush on April.
They all but she's an older woman, and it's kind of like horny kids looking at like a like an older woman, like a crush. It's unattainable. Yeah. And I think this actually makes it more weird because, like, then she in the post credit, she's like, "We're just friends, okay?" Like, and I'm like, "Well, what a rejection!" Like, so there's no point in her being their age. So
I mean, she can relate because she's an outcast as well. I like that. I like that part. And they got the high school news, and there was a Channel 6 Easter egg in there. So she's wearing the yellow coat.
It was fine. It was fine. It just they could have made her a high school student and hot. They could have. Why not? But like, whatever.
Well, but nobody's hot in this movie. Like I said, everyone's fucking a little grotesque. Everyone's a little distorted. That is the reality.
You know what it reminded me of?
Yeah.
And this is very timely. Remind me of a lot of the things on Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah, they were always
weird. They were always misshapen.
Yeah. But it looked like just sketches come to life. So what did you guys think about the fact that this is the youngest iteration of the Turtles? They're using Gen Z language. They have this chemistry.
Sus.
They use sus and Riz. I caught a couple other ones.
Yeah.
But like when they all talk at the same time, like their little patter is great. And I think it's fair. Seth Rogen said none of the other versions ever actually focused on the teenage part. Whereas you could say
teenagers is 7 years of difference.
Yeah.
From like when you're 13 to when you're 19.
Sure.
So
These guys are like
I think they're 15 in this.
And they seem like 15.
They don't
15-year-olds.
They seem like 13-year-olds to me.
They seem a little younger.
Yeah.
I haven't been around teenagers. Well, other than at Lollapalooza. But I haven't been at teenagers for a long time, and I was like, wait a minute, I was around probably them Saturday.
Yeah.
You know what I liked? I did like that they casted teenagers.
Yeah.
So I did like that because normally in Hollywood they always age up and then or age them down. They always cast like 25-year-olds to play teenagers.
Right.
And what I enjoyed, and I didn't think I would enjoy it, is that Donatello actually sounds like a little boy.
It was cute.
I just like that the kid just didn't have didn't grow through puberty yet.
Yeah.
I don't care like at all like who's voicing what, as long as the performance is good, and their kids did great performances.
They did a great job.
They did a great job.
And you know what they did a good job of?
Listen to.
They did a good job of playing into their personalities, but not making it super defining yet.
Right.
So, for example, like Leo's the leader.
Right.
Raphael's the hothead.
He just wants to fight.
Michelangelo's the goofball, and Donatello's the smart. Like some of them get a little bit more play than others.
Yeah.
Like Leo's definitely a leader, but he's like a square.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. And he's the leader that's trying to be a leader, but everyone else hates him because he's being that asshole.
He rats on them. Leo.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So like I like that they played it up a little bit, but it wasn't. They're not fully formed into those personalities.
But defined personalities, right? You can call out what they are, and Leo kind of becomes the leader at the end, which is a great moment. I love Donatello's the nerd. Michelangelo wants to do improv. Ralph is like, I've been dying to fight for months now. I think it's funny Donatello has glasses and Mike has braces because where did they go to get those? Did they go like a black market orthodontist that works in the sewers? How did
it's clear they're stealing everything.
But how do you steal braces and then put them on your fucking teeth? He had to go to a fucking dentist to get that.
Why does he care if his teeth are straight? He's a fucking turtle. It makes no sense.
I know.
I can understand needing to see.
No, I know why they did it to make it seem relatable, like teenagers, right? Some got glasses.
Yeah, that's very transparent. And
but
it's kind
I was like, well, how did I kept thinking like, how did he get those fucking braces? Who put those braces on? How does that work? But I love them at this age, just wanting to watch a movie, go to high school. I love when they stop to watch Ferris Bueller. That's a great moment.
Yeah, that point when they were watching Ferris Bueller and they were like sad to leave.
Yeah.
At that part, I was like, oh, they're doing some good emotional stuff here.
Yeah, no, it's got a lot of heart, man. It's got a lot of heart. It's character driven. Because
it could have just been like a silly goofball thing, but they really went for like, hey, let's make a well-rounded emotional journey here, where it becomes more of a coming-age film rather than just like a fun adventure.
It's definitely a great coming-of-age film, but then the action
the
set
director
pieces
said he was like inspired by like Stand By Me.
Yeah,
and,
I can see that.
Some other
yeah.
coming-of-age film that's just slipping off the top of my tongue.
But the action scenes I thought also were very compelling. That one that was side-scrolling, like it reminded me
a video game.
It reminded me of a video game and like Old Boy simultaneously, right? They'll do a little hallway fight scene.
They somewhere I've read too that he was inspired by the Old Boy.
Yeah, and that was a great, and like the references, the Easter eggs. You heard a little "Go Ninja, Go" on the radio. That was fucking great.
Oh, I mean the soundtrack was.
Oh fuck, dude! The score was great.
You know what I liked about the soundtrack is there's probably a lot of younger people that haven't heard some of that music, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're playing No Diggity right now.
I was excited for the kids to be turned on to De La Soul, to Tribe Called Quest. Now, especially now that De La's music is on streaming, you can go and fucking watch it. I was like, oh fuck, they're playing the best.
Could you have imagined when Trent Reznor was coming up that you'd be like, oh, this guy is going to be a composer or Oscar-worthy. What do you call them now?
A composer, music
composer, and he'd be picking like De La Soul.
It's wild. He's got an amazing taste.
He's got a good ear.
I would say those are his peers, so of course he respects them.
That's true.
Yeah.
I just didn't think he would listen to that stuff, but he is. He clearly.
In the 90s, people were eclectic as fuck, man.
Yeah. Well, it shows because he's got a very eclectic taste in music.
What'd you guys think of the humor? Any parts make you laugh? Was it too much? It's Seth Rogen, right?
The milking joke, they took it way too far.
I mean, that's funny. We don't even have
that one
nipples.
They milked that joke, literally.
But then they were also getting milked. So like there was a payoff. There was a callback. But every time they're like, we don't even have nipples. I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a bunch that made me laugh. The first one that I wrote down that made me giggle was when Jackie Chan's talking about being a rat and his only friend being a cockroach.
Oh, yeah.
And he lost his only friend. He's like, and I lost my only friend. And then I ate him.
Then I ate him.
What did you think of Jackie Chan as Splinter?
He was good.
I thought he was really good.
I liked him. I liked it.
I love the moment where he realizes he is as kind of extreme as Superfly, right? They end up saying the same things.
Ice Cube as Superfly.
Ice Cube as Superfly was great. Even though I could just see, he sounds like Ice Cube, right? You just see Ice Cube.
Yeah. Right.
But I love the character. I love the way that once they realized that they were both made from the same Baxter Stockman ooze, that they were like, we can relate. We should be friends. They kind of bonded.
Did you read why he took the role?
Ice Cube? No. Why?
Yeah. He took the role because when he learned that the character was going to be named Superfly.
Oh, yes.
It was like a 90s thing, and he was like, oh, yeah.
Well, it's that blaxploitation from the 70s classic.
Yeah, the 70s, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Ice Cube playing a character named Superfly is perfect.
I like turtles.
It's fucking perfect. And then when he kaiju's out at the end, it's fucking disturbing. He's got a leg made of like tiny horses, and you see, and like he's so misshapen. Like it was actually like nightmarish looking design.
Well,
I loved it.
The director was inspired by The Fly.
Oh yeah, yes. So
they wanted to recreate. Yeah, it's very like body horror.
Yeah,
stuff
it was totally. He's got a whale end, and there's a lot of body horror stuff in this movie. That's another thing they changed. Speaking of The Fly, Baxter Stockman in the beginning
was The Fly, right?
He originally mutated into The Fly. He was based on Jeff Goldblum's character from The Fly. That was the whole point of him.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's the connection.
Yes.
Sorry.
So, but in the comics, he mutates into a fly, and instead of in this one, he's got a little baby fly. But I thought that change was fine. It worked also for what they.
Well, because he was the creator. He was looking for like the whole thing is
building
like
a family
acceptance.
Yeah, he's building his own family, and then the fact that Superfly's bat, they all turn on him at the end and they have to stop him is fucking great. So I didn't mind that they didn't have Shredder. Like I forgot about Shredder until that post-credit scene. I was like, oh fuck, that's right. There's a Shredder.
Yeah, no, I'm curious to see how they do Shredder, because Shredder's one of the coolest villains in the world.
But now
that personal tie, does change things a little bit. I don't know if I like that Shredder might be working for another person, but then I also read Someone predicted that that lady,
Yes.
what's her name?
Cynthia Ultram.
Is actually Craig.
Yes.
I like
Krang,
turtles.
excuse me.
Yes. So Ultram, apparently Ultramites are the alien race Krang was. You notice she's wearing yellow and got like pink glasses. The theory, some people have that's Krang in there, or she's going to become Krang. So
Right.
Shredder apparently does even have his Foot Clan. He's working for, she's like, call in the Shredder. That's great. But I think she's going to be Krang, which isn't bad. That's a nice little tweak to the thing, because Krang's a little silly. But they used like Rocksteady, Bebop, and I didn't even know a lot of these other mutants. They're from like the...
Yeah, like I would have actually kept Bebop and Rocksteady out of this movie.
Oh, entirely.
And not burn them and
burn them.
and bring them in later.
They're friends now, though. For now.
Yeah, that ruins it.
Yeah, Bebop and Rocksteady, you're right. Like they were the most up there with all the most known villains, and then to just throw them in and then have them become friends, kind of a waste.
They didn't need to be there. Like they didn't really, like they didn't really add any Bebop and Rocksteadiness to this movie. Anyway, they were just kind of like side characters that.
Yeah, they didn't do that much.
Like you had more Mondo Gecko than like Bebop and Rocksteady.
Because Paul Rudd's funny.
Yeah, you didn't need them. No, you're absolutely right. They didn't. You had so many big names playing mutants that you didn't need those two guys. Like I didn't even know that was John Cena or Seth Rogen playing them.
They barely had any lines. Yeah, they were just like, yeah,
it was like they overstuffed it with characters that didn't need to be there, and it could have been just a little bit more. And then you could have saved them for the next movie.
Well, you know why they do that. So I was going to plug this in. What are we watching? But there's this 20-minute thing on YouTube called Disney versus Robin Williams.
Oh.
And that was when they cast Robin Williams as Aladdin.
Yeah.
Because they did that because they wanted to start marketing these movies to adults. So now you see, like, ever since that movie, it changed from, like, little-known voice actors to big names.
Oh.
And the reason they do that is because even with this movie, they list out all the big names they have doing the voice acting role. So for this one, the part of the marketing was look at all these names doing voice acting.
John Cena.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so they just
like
threw
2
in
lines.
everything.
Yeah, he's got like 2 lines.
Even though some of these people only had like 3 lines.
Yeah, they didn't. That's interesting. So voice actors have Robin Williams to blame for taking all their fucking jobs.
No. Well, the thing is, so Robin Williams, that's the whole thing, is he agreed to do the genie, but he was like, I don't want my name featured in it. I don't want to be sold. So I'll do it. But then Disney said they wouldn't do that, and then they went on behind his back and they started
and they top
marketing that was Robin Williams.
Oh man,
putting him in toys and all this shit.
Oh no,
and that's why it's like for the longest time he had a feud with Disney because they did that.
Oh, see, Robin's such a good guy. Like, because you would have known instantly once you watch the movie who it is.
Right, but he didn't want to market it, and then like Toy Story and Shrek and all that. Now every like all the big movies have big names doing the voice acting because they want to market it to adults.
That's interesting. I mean, that's cutting into that voice.
So that's why
they had to do that because the Turtles were not anybody famous, so they had to like balance it out.
Yeah, the marketing even for this kind of was a little misleading because all the names on the poster barely are featured, other than
well, you don't know the kids,
Jackie Chan.
right? Yeah, nobody knows the kids, so you're gonna go Jackie Chan, John Cena, right? Seth Rogen, Maya Rudolph.
That's how it is now. And it's been that way. I mean, every animated movie is like that.
I mean, the Super Mario Brothers was all top names.
It was all sold on those. It was literally Chris Pratt. Everyone's like, Chris Pratt's doing an Italian guy.
Jack Black was great though too. Also, he does a good job. Right. Another moment I loved when they pull the Spider-Man 1 Sam Raimi. New Yorkers come to help.
Oh, that was cool.
Move with that that got me in the feels a little bit. I was like, oh fuck, they're getting accepted. New York is coming together.
Well, before that, what's good? Like, it's a good hero's journey, right? Because they are originally doing this for fame,
right?
Or not for fame, for acceptance,
right?
But then they realize they won't be accepted, right? And they're like, we still got to help.
Yeah, even though they think we're monsters, we got to do the right thing, and it turns out that works. So the movie ends with a very different, putting them in a different spot, right? They're publicly known. They're heroes. They get to go to high school with April. They're out in public. Splinter's out in public, which is something.
What'd you think of the puke joke?
Oh, the puke. I thought it was okay. Maybe they did it a little too much, and maybe they didn't need to show her puking, but when they did, that was also funny because it is a cartoon and it's just like green stuff coming out. But that was, It's traumatic when that happens.
Someone, one of the reviewers, I was like, watched his review, and he was saying how this movie's very obsessed with like bodily fluid jokes.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of, and then there's a lot of milking and squirting of liquids coming out and stuff. It's very interesting. I also read
that puke scene was pretty long.
It did go on for quite a while. I also read that they were inspired for the action scenes by Police Story and Rumble in the Bronx, Jackie Chan stuff a little bit.
What are Ruggs? I'm curious. What are some of your other nitpicks, if you have any more that you can think of?
I mean, those are the basically, like, I know you love the music, but I thought the music, I think what I had a problem with, I didn't know what kind of tone this movie was. Was it for kids or wasn't it? And some of the songs were kind of like a little bit
like the
I don't know.
ODB shimmy shimmy y'all was. I'm like, that's a little adult for the kids, but I was glad it was there.
No Diggity's an adult song.
Yes,
yeah, I like to bag it up.
Yeah,
like,
no diggity.
Like I don't know if a kids,
It's
but
a great
like
scene though.
So like
Black
I was
Street.
like I felt like the tone was like not quite right. I didn't mind it. I love those songs.
Yeah.
I love those needle drops, and I like. But then I was like, in context, like, what kind of movie is this?
Mm-hmm.
So I did think that was kind of weird.
That makes sense.
So there was that, and some of the humor, like, I was like, is this for kids or for an adult? So like, but
I heard a lot of kids. There were some kids in my audience, and they were having a blast. They were like really into it, and I've heard a lot of the kids love this.
Well, I don't know what kids are like now, but I figured that since their parents just give them cell phones at like 3 years old,
go
and tell them to go on YouTube, like their parents don't give a shit what they're.
I want to see these 12-year-olds go and pull up fucking Wu-Tang on Spotify and blast it. It'll be hilarious.
Annie Up,
yeah.
Annie Up was great. MOP, Annie Up. There's a great song and another great scene. I think that was another fight scene.
Can I Kick It?
Can I Kick It? De La Soul's I Know, which is a very wholesome, like romantic song. That was in the beginning.
Naughty by Nature. I'm looking at the soundtrack right now.
I gotta admit though, I do miss sexy April O'Neil, and
I mean, did that even make sense in the original? I don't know. Like, why is an adult?
I thought it was a
woman-
weird change to make her. I would have made. I don't know. I just would have made her a little. Even if
she's she's a hot TV reporter. That's what she breaks the story.
Oh, okay, sure.
Like it's actually more impossible that a kid is gonna break the story.
So
that was a little unbelievable that the kid could run into the studio, take out the anchor, and just sit there, and they'd just be like, "Yep, we'll keep recording."
No, weren't they being attacked or something? And she fell over. And how did she get there? It's a good point. She's on national TV or whatever.
It was an interesting. It was a weird change.
They bent everything to get this acceptance narrative.
Yep,
like you need
100%.
everybody to be rejected. Everybody's on the same page with this acceptance thing.
I like that. I could relate to that. I found that very relatable.
Yeah, but is it? It's great for a movie, I guess, but is it great for the Turtles? We don't know.
That's the question, right? So it serves this story perfectly.
Yeah.
Does it serve the larger narrative? If we make this a franchise, that's what we'll have to see.
I mean, it'll be fine, but we all know that like having Splinter and Shredder related is cool. We all like sexy April.
Mm-hmm.
We all like that. So I think that even though that this series can go on and be cool, we're always going to miss those little things.
Was Casey Jones always flirting with April and everything?
I feel like
in the comic books, they end up together.
Because now, like with this change, right? If we're gonna, because Casey Jones is one of the more beloved characters.
Yeah.
He's just a vigilante, like a dude vigilante.
Yeah.
You can't just be a dude vigilante and not. Like, you can't be in love with Casey Jones
not this
April O'Neil right now.
Yeah,
unless like he's also a teenager.
Unless everybody is a teenager,
and then it's then you can do it. But like another thing about the tone is that Superfly's straight up killing people.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? Yeah.
So
I like that.
So it's weird for a kids movie.
I mean,
as I said,
they didn't hold back. And
no, 100%.
But for me, it was great because I'm an adult sitting in a movie. I don't care. Like, I'm an adult watch this movie, but I'm just like, when you try and think about the larger audience, that's also like weird. But like, I enjoyed the film. It's just I thought about all this stuff and go, okay.
It is a good point because I'm with you, Ruggs. I enjoyed the entire film.
Yeah.
But when you bring it up in that lens of, it's rated PG, I believe. So you're trying to get a kid audience as well.
Is it PG or PG-13?
I think it's PG. But yeah, you definitely have, there's definitely some tonal stuff where you go, wait a minute, what's going on here? Who are they marketing this to, really?
Yeah, like if it was a Batman movie, everyone would be like, why is Batman killing people? Or why is the Joker killing people? This is a kid's movie.
Right.
You should be just knocking people out with gas and not really killing them. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. I mean, G.I. Joe, no one ever fucking died from Cobra. Like they all just fucking fell down.
Oh, fuck, it is PG. Wow, he's killing people in a fucking PG movie. It's not even 13.
And they say it all the time. He killed this guy. He killed that guy. He's killing us.
It's a cartoon, and they look.
When they're out hunting for him, they're like, no one. Every time he hires people, they die.
Yeah, but they're mutants. I don't know.
All I say is my dad is. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was just gonna say it's just a little all over the place with tone.
I was just gonna make a joke when Michelangelo goes, "My dad is totally not a rat," and she's like, "When you say it like that, I think he's a rat."
That's a good line too.
I think one of the funniest parts of the thing is when he gets the sigh in the thigh and he screams like a girl.
Oh, and Leo's like, "I gotta vomit." But then
I did enjoy that.
That's when they that's their first fight too, and they fucking pull it together and kick.
It's literally like year one. TMNT.
It's great. No, I enjoyed all of it.
When you guys just huddle in the shadow and start whispering, it doesn't make it any better.
And I even love the little detail where, like, when they first land on the rooftop and they're looking badass, their eyes are white. You don't see the pupil, right? And then it cuts to them, and the guy's like, "Okay, whatever, Batman." And then you see their eyeballs and their pupils. It's very cute. He's like, "We have to pick up goat cheese or something." The guy's
it's like very like pop culture too. They mention Avengers Endgame.
Oh yeah,
they mention all bunch,
very contemporary. A lot of great references. The Chris cutouts.
So it'll date itself really soon,
I guess. But it's very of right now. I love the Chris cutouts. Was kind of funny. He had Chris Evans, Chris Pine, and Chris Pratt. Which that's an Easter egg because Chris Evans voiced Casey Jones in the 2007 animated movie. There was also their high school was called Eastman High School after one Peter Eastman, and then the Laird was like the pizza place. So they had an Eastman and Laird little Easter egg in there. So yeah, a lot of funny.
Eastman also does a voice cameo.
Oh, he does. Oh, yeah. One of them doesn't want to be involved anymore. I think it's Laird who like walked away, but I think they came back.
Yeah, he's like not into what they're doing.
Yeah, they sold it to Nick. So technically, it's owned by Nickelodeon now.
But I thought they're still making comics, but the Nickelodeon probably owns it all. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, and then in the future, they've already announced a second.
Yeah, bring that up.
There's a sequel in the works and a 2-season 2D animated TV series for Paramount Plus has been.
I mean, they're already going full steam ahead. Making this a new franchise.
I'm down to. I mean, I wanted to see more of these guys. When the movie ended, I was like, they were a lot of fun to hang out with. I would love to see more. I think a TV show would be great if they can keep the same tone. But hopefully the sequel, maybe they'll be more focused on Ninja because this one was all teenage, a little bit of Ninja. Maybe now you could do Ninja, more Shredder, Foot Clan. Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the next move would be going into the Ninja side.
Right? You've already established.
Because you kind of.
But they're not going to be able to make it ring true when they're just watching movies and copying stuff.
Right. Well, it was also tough to do the Ninja thing when the boss is a giant kaiju.
Right.
Like it became something completely different by the end.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of, you get that riding vehicles.
You can't just roundhouse kick I mean, you could. If you were Jean-Claude Van Damme, you would. But the Turtles, I don't think can roundhouse kick a kaiju.
Even that pizza truck was kind of like the one pizza truck from the cartoon. I did enjoy they kind of combined, like there's Easter eggs from the 80s cartoon and the original book and the different incarnations all kind of blended together.
Well, they wore the belt with their letters on it.
Yep. But have that gritty kind of look from the original book. All right, let's rate it and rank it amongst whatever you've seen. I have here listed, there's 7 fucking movies, 2 made for TV movies, 5 TV shows, all Turtles lasting for the last 4 decades. It's amazing. And I think that, like we were talking about, this movie is a good example of how you can take the basic premise and reintroduce it, update it, modernize it, and it'll work. It'll work every so often. Anthony,
yes,
what would you give it? And is this the best Turtles movie there is?
I said this earlier, but we've had a really nice string of movies with Mission Impossible, Oppenheimer, Barbie, and now this. I would rate this a solid 7.5. It didn't blow me away, but I was just pleasantly like surprised and smiling throughout the entire movie. As far as the best turtle movies, I haven't seen all the turtle movies, as I mentioned. I think it's a better made film than the original, but I think the original is just so timeless. I still think the original one is the best one.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I mean, just the animatronics and like it's all so ahead of its time, and it's a gritty movie.
Yeah,
but it's still like the original is a good mix of the original comics, which were gritty, but then also the fun TV show where you had their personalities being fun, but they were in this like dark setting.
Yeah, it is amazing how much that one kind of still holds up when you watch it again.
It's because of those animals. I mean, the suits were so good.
It's tactile.
It's real.
I think it's just movie magic.
It's real, yeah.
That's all.
Rugs, what about you? What number would you give it? Where would you put this?
I would probably also give it a 7.5, and I would also put it maybe second or third in the top 3 Ninja Turtles movies.
Third? What would be the second one?
Well, I kind of have it tied with TMNT. I think that movie is just as it feels like more like the movie, like the first movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, April's still intact. Casey Jones is a bit of a like weakling in that one, but like the story is kind of like weird. It's kind of like there's no, I don't think Shredder's in it at all.
No, he's not.
I barely remember this one.
Yeah.
From what I read, it's it's kind of a continuation. Like could be considered the fourth movie. Like it's part of that universe.
And then Shredder's dead in that movie, but the Foot Clan still exists.
Interesting. I want to watch that.
I need to watch that again because I remember.
The thing is about that movie is that it's such a like weird enemy, like that's not tied to them really,
right?
And it's kind of like they're like Scooby Doo, like they're in the middle of the city, they're fighting ninjas and stuff, and all of a sudden there's like this Foot Clan group is after this weird doohickey, like Indiana Jones or something, you know? And it's just a little weird for me to believe, but I've seen weirder shit. But it felt like the Turtles. It felt like Raph was Raph and Michelangelo was Michelangelo, and it felt cool. And they have like cool ninja action in it, and they have like a nice like rooftop fights and stuff. It was very like much like the first Ninja Turtles movie in feel. So I don't know. I feel like I like this new movie a lot, but I don't think it's completely, doing the canon justice, and that always bothers me.
Okay, that's fair. I'm gonna give this movie an 8.5. I really enjoyed it.
You really liked it.
I really liked it. And man, it's like tied with that original movie because
if you play old school hip hop, Imran will like it.
That's the thing. It had so many things that just
if you play old school hip hop and you have sketches on screen.
Yeah, it was my artwork come to life, and it reminded me of being fucking 13 again. But like, it's so well rounded. So like overall, I feel like it is the best told story out of all of them. But that first one with those animatronics, you never saw that shit before. It's still wild, still holds up. So it's up there with that one. I don't know which one's better. They could switch.
I think on another note, though, I think we're going through an animation.
Absolutely. They're pushing the medium. We're seeing new things. It's not like, look at the Pixar movies. They're not really doing well right now, and everything looks the same over there.
Right.
And
how many times are you going to tell the same fucking story? That's why.
That is also true. They're struggling. In the meantime, these people are pushing animation into all fun places. So I love the style. I want to see more of this style. But it does. I need to watch that Batman movie, Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's actually pretty cool. Yeah.
And I heard the 2012 show is pretty good, and the 2003 show is pretty good. But then Rise is the most recent one, which that one, I don't think that one's very good. Rise of the Teenage Mutant Turtles. Okay, well, let's find out what some of our listeners thought about the movie in News from the Nation.
It's time for News from the Nation.
It's time for News from the Nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Oh, you got to check your shorts after that one. Really? Jamie Robinson, Mr. Throwback Thursday, said post-credits setup for part 2 was the best. Bring me the Shredder. Soundtrack was on point too. Annie Up by MOP is the perfect song for the fight scene. Annie Up. Jose Barra said, these are not my Ninja Turtles. Old man yelling at Cloud's voice, which is a good thing. I really enjoyed this film. I had a lot of fun. These Generation Zurtles really did a great job of introducing a new generation of turtles while also paying homage to the stuff that came before. The music was amazing. The story was great and relevant. The animation was refreshing. The animation style really surprised me in a great way. Are we in the golden age of animation? This Spider-Verse Arcane animes like Demon Slayer are really pushing the boundaries of animation. Yes, we are.
I wouldn't say golden age. I'd say like we're in the whatever the third age would be or fourth age.
It's because there's been bronze age.
Because there's been a lot of good like. Keep in mind, in the the Disney Renaissance age was an age in animation where things got leveled up a bit. And then when Pixar came around and did Toy Story, things got leveled up a bit. And now we're just seeing another like leveling up.
But now it's going back to, I forgot about Arcane and how fucking beautiful that show is. But it's going back to a lot of like hand-drawn look and style as opposed to the polished 3D renders.
Yeah, but you see it's a trend, it's not like they're trending this way. Like all the new movies are like, okay, we did this polished Disney stuff that looks like Frozen and shit like 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
Now we need to do something because people are sick of looking at all these movies that look the same.
Yeah.
So now we're trending into this other thing. And Spider-Verse kind of led the way, I would say.
Yeah.
It really broke it open, but Arcane was kind of doing it too. And so,
I mean,
there's a bunch of other films that we haven't even like seen or mentioned, like Puss in Boots, and there's some other ones. But it's like this. I would describe it as like 3D, with also it's like drawn 3D. Almost it feels like.
It's like
I don't know how to describe it any other way.
It's basically like a filter that they put over it that adds strokes. It's actually, I think, AI done.
A
lot of it.
boy.
No, but this is like. This is like it's not like Mid-Journey. It's built into the animation programs that they're using.
They they give you an example, like here's what it looks like, and now apply this to the rest of the render.
You basically apply this effect to all the things. They're not. There are times where they go back and redraw stuff and repaint stuff, but like a lot of the tweening is probably done like through a software.
I read the director, like he talked to the animators and Seth Rogen and them, and they were like, we want you to keep in the imperfections. Like, don't make it too clean. It's okay if it's loose and there's some mistakes because it really added to the thing. And he did not overwork his animators. Apparently they were very, they know what it's like, and they wanted everyone to have a good work-life balance. They all said like Seth Rogen has a great work-life balance, and he wanted to make sure the same was applied to them so they could produce the best work. So
did you get like a Seth Rogen intro before the movie started?
Yes.
No.
I did.
Wait, maybe I did. I think I did. Thanks for coming.
Thanked you for coming.
That's like Tom Cruise and McQuarrie did that before Mission Impossible.
I noticed that now.
It's
There's
a trend.
A couple new trend of the director thanking you.
They're like, thanks for coming. We really need this. We really need your money. Thanks for not streaming this.
I like turtles.
We know. Anyways, okay.
All right, kid.
Let's finish up with some What Are We Watching? Anthony, what are you watching? What'd you watch?
No, I haven't really watched any of that. I just want to give a quick plug to that the Disney versus Robin Williams.
Oh, what? Who did that? Do you know?
I forget. If you just put in Disney versus Robin Williams, it's basically a 20-minute video from 4 years ago where they go into like how animation changed, like the voice acting and all that stuff, and how it causes feud, and to just before that, like even before Aladdin, like Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast, great popular movies, no big names.
Yeah, that's true.
Then Aladdin hits, and then from there, the horses, it was off to the races with big names going into the
That is interesting,
movies.
Yeah. And then I think he leaves, he left Disney and got mad over all that after all that.
He did come back, though, eventually. They figured it out.
Fucking genius performance in Aladdin. Nobody can top that. That is All time. He's so funny in that
Well,
movie.
he started a whole trend. I mean, it was him. Freaking Eddie Murphy was.
Shrek and Shrek.
The donkey and the pair.
Iago.
Mulan, and then what's his name? Iago was by
Gilbert
our boy.
Gottfried. Yeah,
Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah, it started this whole trend of like comedians doing the side character,
and and it was so good. Yeah. Ruggs, you watch anything interesting?
I just watched a lot of comedy because I was trying to get myself happy.
Okay.
So I watched the new Mark Normand special on Netflix.
Okay.
All the Netflix stuff.
Okay.
That was okay. Mark Normand's got he swung for some raunchy jokes and some like groaners that were the audience were like, ugh. Like, so I got to give him credit for that. Then I watched like back to back 2 Ali Wong specials, and
I've watched
Ali Wong is pretty fucking funny.
She's great. I've watched one of those. I think I watched the newer one. That was really funny.
Well, I watched the for her first one where she talks about she's doing first of all, for some reason all of her specials she's pregnant, like 8 months pregnant.
Yes, that's right.
And like except for the newest one, I think. But the first one she talks about how that she walks around sometimes and she sees like housewives and she's like jealous of them. Yeah. And she said like how like feminism is the worst thing to ever happen because she just wants to be home sleeping while everyone else is working. And she goes off and she talks about taking a shoving, like, see, like housewives can shit in their own house and blow ass as loud as they want. Like I have to like hold my shit in. Even when I take a shit, I gotta like squeeze it out so it doesn't make noise.
She's really funny. She's great on Beef. Her stand-ups are great.
Yeah, so that was actually fun. If you haven't seen Ali Wong's stuff, go check it out.
I watched Police Story 3, otherwise known as Super Cop.
What'd you think? I haven't seen it.
It's very good. It's again another great continuation of this character and his
do I need to watch for the attorney, do I need to watch 2 to understand 3?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I might just watch it.
Anyway.
It's very loosely tied.
It's the same characters like Uncle Bill and May. But this one introduces Michelle Yeoh as a sidekick. She's great in it. They got to go undercover, break a guy out of jail. Let me just tell you though, stunt scene wise, what have we talked about in the last few months? Extraction, them landing a helicopter on a moving train. Tom Cruise in the Mission Impossibles. He's hanging from a helicopter. He's fighting on top of a train. He's jumping a bike onto the top of a train. I'll tell you what, fucking Jackie Chan did all of this shit in 1992 in this fucking movie. And I was like, holy shit, look at these stunts. He is hanging from a ladder from a helicopter. They land a helicopter. He's fighting on top of a moving train. I think Michelle Yeoh actually drove a motorcycle onto a train, like did the jumped on a train.
Yeah.
It's
nuts.
There's bloopers where Michelle Yeoh, she's supposed to land on this car that's moving in traffic. She bounces off and hits the ground and there's still traffic coming. Like it's some wild stunt and it's clearly all him hanging over fucking Hong Kong or wherever they are. These crazy helicopters.
He like broke his foot.
Yeah. That shit is impressive.
Shattered his foot during that. And he kept on filming. He had a cast and they painted it to look like a sneaker.
That's right. That's the sneaker movie. This is that one. I mean, Tom Cruise is literally just doing Jackie Chan stunts over and over again because he did all that shit in the 90s. So, yeah.
I got to watch it.
It's very good. I thought it was very good. And again, May gets the fucking shit end of the stick every time. His girlfriend. Hilarious. I already talked about Super Mario Brothers movie that is available on Peacock. It's all right. You watch it, you forget it, you move on with your life. What else is on Peacock? I finally checked out Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
I heard that's not bad.
It was fun. It is not bad. It's in the same continuity as the Bumblebee movie, so it's like set in the 90s. Also, lots of hip hop, like Mama Said Knock You Out, Notorious B.I.G., all this old school hip hop in this movie. Anthony Ramos is great as the lead, and the story is very simple, straightforward. There's a MacGuffin. It's kind of like Dead Reckoning. There's a key in 2 parts. They got to find it. And Unicron is coming to eat the planet, and they just have to find this key and stop Scourge, who's a badass. So it was fine. It was actually fun to watch. Mirage is a fun character. You know, they don't explain what the Autobots are doing this whole time. They just suddenly wake up, and then they got to do shit. And the Maximals look good. Optimus Primal. It's not bad. The action was good. I thought it was okay. And then,
okay.
Yeah, I would check it out if you got Peacock. It's on Peacock. And then the last thing, this is a recommendation from Jose Ibarra on our last Discord. There's this TV show called From on MGM Plus. Now,
it's like Lost, right?
Yes. First of all, huge shout out, thank you to Jose Ibarra. He lent me his MGM Plus login because he's like, I need somebody else to watch this so I can talk about it. I think you will like it. I watched there's 2 seasons. I watched 4 episodes. It sucked me in. It is Lost meets Walking Dead, meets a little Twin Peaks, meets a little Shining. Harold Perrineau from Lost, Walter, is in it. The premise is basically there's this small town, middle American town, and these people are stuck there. They can't leave. And every night they got to go into their house. They got to lock their doors, cover up their windows because there's these creatures that come out at night. These creatures look like people, pale people. In fact, they look like people you may know, like your old friend or your grandma. And they politely tap on the door and they're like, hi, can you let me in? I'm cold out here. You open the door. They turn into fucking monsters and they disembowel your ass. And it's graphic shots of what happens afterwards. People's insides are ripped out. You are dead, right? So the story follows this family in this RV this is how everybody gets lost in this town. They're driving on a random road and there's a tree in the road. They can't move the tree. They got to turn around, go the other way. They turn around and they make it into this town and they're like, where's the highway? And the guy's like, it's up on the road. You'll see. And they spend hours. They drive straight. They come back into the town. They drive straight again. They come back into the town. So then something happens with another car. They find out what the deal is. They got to make their life there now. They realize they're stuck. There's some fucking creepy shit. There's a little kid who's got The Shining, who can see things. He's connected to what's going on. There's some supernatural things. And then there's also, of course, the people and how they react to.
So do you think there's ever going to get to a place where you understand what's going on?
You know
or no?
what? There's 2 seasons of this show, 10 episodes. I highly doubt they explain many things, but we'll see. It has that kind of Lost feel where they're just introducing oh, here's this weird tree where you throw a fucking thing down and it falls out of the sky. It transports you. Why? I don't know. This creepy guy is drawing pictures of things that he didn't see but happened. Why?
Seems like a huge waste of time.
It very well might be similar to Lost, but it's well acted. It's the pacing's good. The intrigue, the suspense. There's some fucking disturbing, scary. There's a very horror tinge show with supernatural and mystery. So I'm in. And now that he let me borrow his fucking login, I have to watch all 2 seasons of this show.
All right, let me know if it's good.
I'll let you know if they actually explain anything. Because
if they ever get somewhere.
I was thinking the same thing while watching this. I'm like, I hope they fucking explain some of this shit at some point. And I hope it's not like Lost. So, but then where does it? Oh, here's the other weird thing about all the people stuck there. They all were driving in different parts of the country. One dude was driving in Kentucky. One dude was in Texas. These people were over here. They all get stopped by the tree, turn around, and end up in this town. So you have no idea where this town is. Is it in this reality, on this plane? Is it an alternate universe? It makes no sense. So intriguing shit, though. Good world building, good setup. So thanks, Jose, so much. I'm in. I'm fucking watching this thing.
Maybe they're at a singular point.
I don't know. I don't know who are these creatures? And there's talismans you can use to protect the house. What are those about? I don't know. Should be interesting though. So another thing to waste my time with. I'm
all right. I'm glad you're doing
I'm
that.
enjoying it. All right. That's it for this week, Ruggs. Where can the listener find you online?
You can find me on X.
Exit.
At Really Rug Boy.
Yeah, X him over there. Go over, give him some X's. Link in the episode.
I'm getting followers every day. They're always naked girls.
Oh, that's not bad.
Wow.
Yeah, they want me to. They always say, "Hey, I'm following you now. Can you follow my OnlyFans?"
Oh,
and I'm like,
that's the deal.
No.
Well,
I don't have money.
At least get something to look at over there. I think a lot of people have lost followers after the X thing. I heard.
Not me.
No. We'll see you on Threads. No, we won't. Anyways, all that is in our show notes on our website, jockandnerd.com. The most important thing you can do, listener, share the show. Tell a friend. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll beep you next time. Yes.
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
No, but I like turtles.
I like turtles.
All right, fuck you.
I like turtles.
Talking nerd.
Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles.
All right. You're a great zombie. And good times here at the Waterfront Village. Open for the next 11 days.